Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us and taking the time, especially on the middle of a Friday afternoon. It's a holiday today, holiday weekend, right? If you celebrate Passover, Good Friday, Easter, whatever the case is, number one, I want to wish you a great holiday weekend. And I also want to say that I understand a lot of you are visiting with family or you've already taken off and you're celebrating a 3-day weekend, whatever the case is. If you're here right now spending an hour with us, kudos to you because you are working on and in your business, right? You want to make things bigger and better. So my hat goes off to each and every person out there listening now. And then for those of you that couldn't make it live today, that's okay too, because we're sending out the recorded link over the weekend. Okay, so you will get to view this at any time and or even next week if that works better for you. So no worries. We're going to show you how to get started with the platform as soon as we wrap up towards the end. What we're also going to do is give away our webinar question of the day tablet. So make sure you are paying attention to every slide. I'm going to ask a question that has to do with one of the slides at the end. Whoever answers first and correctly wins the Amazon 8 tablet. Plus, we have 2 prospecting books, and we have the new Amazon Echo. So a nice little package for you to start writing some EAPs literally over the holiday weekend. Okay, that's the goal. So anyway, make sure you're paying attention. And what I wanted to do was talk about, marketing in general, like the 100-foot overview, and then show you what the 3 co-op platforms are that we offer. Okay, and in my opinion, if I had my agent hat on, what would I need to go out there and hit the pavement, right, and be successful on the retail level? Obviously, we're a wholesaler, but I wanted to just give you an idea. We're getting lots and lots of questions, especially over the last few days, saying, hey, I'm seeing this Ringy platform, and then you also have Agency Automator, and then you have Snoozy, and, what's the difference? Is this replacing one or the other? And the answer is no. They all kind of have their place in the whole marketing spectrum, okay? And that's what I wanted to show you all today. What we're going to do for the majority of the presentation, though, is focus on Ringy, this new platform, and the CEO happens to be a friend of mine, right? That's one of my best friends' nephew. So the way this worked out was just crazy, and you all benefit from this relationship because you get to save 30% off for the first 6 months if you're a Levinson active agent, and I know all of you are, so that's huge. Okay, so the price is so low as it is, and then to leverage this discount on top of it is just awesome. And the only way we were able to get this done was, number one, our relationship, number two, because of volume, right? We have 21,000 agents, and I want to make sure that you all get started as soon as we hang up this call, because you're going to see why and what the value add is as soon as Carlos and Brad jump in. So some really cool stuff. Let's move forward because we don't have much time. I want to make sure everyone gets out early and on time and they can start to celebrate this holiday weekend. So real fast, our Expo was last week. Literally, it's been a week today. And it was a huge turnout considering we're still kind of in this pandemic, right? So we had over 250 agents there. It was a day that I won't forget. I mean, for the first time ever, we had agents send us flowers to the office saying, thank you so much for a great expo. We just had a handwritten letter that came in. So I know you all loved it and walked away with nuggets. And what's so cool is Brad and Carlos also presented live there at the expo. In fact, we had a lucky agent winner that walked away with a free 6-month trial or subscription for Ringy, which is valued at $600. So we had some really cool stuff. We have the video going out to you all this weekend with all of the Expo presentation material from each company. So you're going to see that this weekend in case you missed it, or even if you were there, but you say, hey, I wanted to get the brochure on living benefits with Life of the Southwest. Well, it's going to be in your email inbox this weekend. Okay, so keep your eyes peeled for that. We also celebrated our 50th anniversary. So That is just priceless, 1972 to 2022, and we are just getting started with some of this new technology. I mean, I am so excited. It's almost like day one in the business all over again, right? I feel like, when you see some of these tools working and you see the agents utilizing this and making more sales because of it, to me, like there's nothing better than that, right? Because it's due to our effort, right? And then you putting in the work and making it happen. So that's our job and that's your role, right? So when you see that happen, it's a win-win across the board. Okay, let's move forward here. So real fast, we have our last slide here before I introduce the feature presenter. So real fast, I'm not going to talk about every single bullet, but I do want to point out some important ones that you need to take note of. Top left corner, Kansas City Life is back. They are our first scholarship company. What that means, any product sold with Kansas City Life gets that 1-year scholarship for the insured's children, grandchildren, or any blood relative worth $40,000, right? Up to $40,000, 1 year free scholarship, 430 colleges. Now, they have the #1 return of premium product in the industry, bar none. Plus, they just came out with the new longevity term product that you have never seen anything like. You literally dial in the guarantee, and then it works like a permanent product if you want to keep it going or extend it. So great product. Prosperity Life, 10% bonus above and beyond the top commission. They have the new instant decision term, and they also have a virtually guaranteed issue term as well. These are great when you're working leads because let's face it, every lead isn't perfectly healthy and 32 years old and run marathons, right? So you're going to come across that client that's maybe in their 70s, 60s, whatever it is, and maybe they're not perfectly healthy and you need an impaired risk product. That is a great go-to. All right, let's move towards the middle section. And by the way, we're going to send out a thank you email and include all of this in the thank you email. So just because I'm going fast, you're still going to have all the facts in your inbox, again, tonight before we leave. Middle section, if you're writing Banner Life, okay, they have made some advancements and they want you to start using e-app and drop tickets. So we're going to send out a memo, very important. Great Western, second middle section. They literally just combined 3 products into one easy-to-use application. So that has changed things, again, for simplified issue, impaired risk, a great option. Let's move over all the way to the right section. The 2022 Expo is in the books, as you know. So again, we're going to send out a follow-up email over the weekend and include all of the brochures, the material, copies of books. We're going to include the Ringy info, everything you need. Okay, so if you were not at the Expo, everything's at your fingertips. If you were there and you missed something, I still would open the email because you're going to want to print or save that brochure. Very important stuff. Just below that, we have 2 new tech platforms that are going to help you in the new business process. And I'm going to explain to you why. We launched these at the Expo last week. Number 1, we call this eGenius Requirements. Number 2, we call this eGenius Underwriter. Think about this for a second, okay? With the requirement tool, if you have a client that checked off they like to scuba dive over 100 feet, let's just say, and the carrier comes back and says, we need a scuba questionnaire, well, all you're going to do is log in, single sign-on through our website, okay? And you click Banner Life Scuba Questionnaire, and the system sends the form right to your consumer, okay? You obviously get a copy, we get a copy, and all they do is fill this out electronically, hit send, goes back to you, us, and the carrier in real-time fashion, and then stores a copy in your back office, and it's free, okay? The eGenius Underwriter. Now think about this for a minute, okay? And this also works in real-time fashion. You have a client, they're on 17 different medications, they're 62.5 pounds overweight. You don't know what carrier, what product, what health class, and what the premium is. And let's say it's Sunday, right, Easter, and it's your family member, and you don't know what company to use. So you put in the basic information. The system is going to tell you, hey, AIG will take them at standard. The premium's $22. Banner is standard plus. Premium is $19. It does everything for you. Both of these platforms are free because you're a Levinson agent. So anyway, you got to leverage the best and most recent technology in order to run circles around your competition. Why do I say that? Because you're going to get in and out, make the sale much faster, get paid faster, and be able to move on to the next consumer, right? Let's be honest. At the end of the day, you want to help as many people as you can, right? And obviously, you're entitled to get paid for your time in the meantime. So very important stuff, because that's our goal, is to provide you all of the best support and tech that's available. And that's why we're having Ringy on this presentation webinar today. We're very excited about it. That brings up our next slide. We're going to jump into the feature presentation. We have my friends, Brad Kovacs, the CEO of Ringy, and then we have the Director of Marketing and Sales. Carlos is joining us as well. So without further ado, Brad and Carlos are going to take the wheel, sit back, relax, take plenty of notes. Guys, you ready?
Hey,
Absolutely.
thank you so much, Bill.
Okay, good stuff. Let's do it.
Cool. So yeah, I'll just introduce myself first, and Brad, you can go for it. My name is Carlos Correa. I've been with the company for close to 4 years now, and I had sales and marketing. And then Bradley, go for it.
Hey, everyone. My name is Bradley Kovacs. I'm the CEO and CTO of Ringy, and I originally created the software called something else back in 2013, and been working on it until well, today.
Perfect. Cool. So guys, I know we're a little pressed for time. I don't want to rush through this, but for time's sake, I will try to be respectful of everybody's time. So there are going to be parts of this, it's new technology, where it may seem a little rush, but we do have a training section once you sign up that has training videos on every part of our software, every page. So you can always reference those on demand at any point. They're about 3 to 9 minutes long. Those are included in the software. You can watch them at any point. Also, once you sign up, we have a pretty great customer service team, customer success team, they're actually called, and they'll send you a series of emails, which will include a mini webinar that you can watch. It's just a demo walkthrough. But without further ado, I'm going to take you through the software so you can see what it looks like and how you can incorporate it into your business. So this is what our website will look like. You just go to ringy.com. There's some nice information here that I wouldn't skip over once you get on there. There's different use cases, different write-ups about the products, some blogs, all that good stuff. But most importantly, you're going to log in right here, right? So once you log in, it'll take you to your software, right? And this is what it looks like. It's very user-friendly, really clean interface. And we actually have templates built out for different verticals, being that mainly life insurance is who I'm talking to right now. As you can see, I'm in our life insurance demo account. So what that means is once you sign up, you're going to be able to go to your account settings, go to sync account settings, and simply just type in life insurance demo at ringy.com. You would type that right here, send that request. All of the settings that I'm going to show you that take hours at some point, sometimes days, once you get acclimated with the software, it'll be on your account already. All you need is leads and you're ready to go. So we've made it really easy so that you can hit the ground running. All of these settings will already be included. Some of this is going to look like another language to you right now, but by the time I'm done, hopefully you know what it means. So I'll start from the beginning. I'll take you to your dashboard. So we like to make it so that you are doing less, right? You're not working as hard, you're working smarter. And everything is on this platform for you. We have a built-in VoIP phone or soft phone, right? So you don't need an extension, you don't need another software to make phone calls. It's already built into your platform. You have a digital voicemail box included in your soft phone as well, where you can manage your voicemails, delete them, listen to them, whatever it is, and also send text messages manually, right? So I'll jump back to that shortly, but just so you see, you have that there. We also have video meetings, right? So I'm kind of jumping around. I want to show you some of the features that myself, if I was a life insurance agent, what would be the most beneficial. So we have video meetings. It's a proprietary software that we created shortly after we saw the boom with virtual sales, where people were, during COVID, not sitting at kitchen counters anymore. It was really just all virtual. And we created the software. It's included in your subscription and unlimited usage. You can do meetings up to 3 hours. It's no charge. It's included in your monthly cost. It's very simple. So like Bill said in the beginning, you're going to have some people that you talk to that are in their 60s or their 70s, or maybe they're, you know, in their 30s and they're just not tech savvy. Whatever it is, it's kind of a pain to have to explain to a client how to download Zoom or go to webinar and get them logged in. That itself could take a very long time and could be frustrating. We've made it so all you have to do is click this plus sign under video meetings, name the room. I'm just going to do some generic words here. So maybe policy review, set your time, how long you want that meeting to be, if you want to require a passcode, if you want to record it, and also you can add it to your Google Calendar. Once you create that meeting, all you need to do is hit copy link and send that to your prospect, whether it's a text, an email. Once they click that link, this is what happens. It takes them right to your meeting room. As you can see, you'll probably see me there. Really good quality as far as the camera goes. And you just join that meeting. It just opens a new tab in their browser, right? So that's a huge function that we added that we've seen over the past year or so. It's been a big hit. Definitely take advantage of that. Now, we also have an appointments page here on your dashboard. This is something that I've seen a lot of life insurance agents doing in their marketing. So you can go to your account settings here. You're gonna have a booking page, right? This is what it looks like. It's nice and clean. You get your own URL, so you can name it whatever you want. Set your calendar, your availability, the days and times that you work. It's gonna send you a message via text and email, or either or if you like, let you know when somebody's booked a meeting. Now, what I've seen a lot of agents doing is they're including this link in their emails and in their text messages that they send out. They may not get in contact with that client right away, but they're starting to get appointments self-booked. So you'll go to your dashboard after you got a text and you'll see that John Doe just booked a meeting today at 3 o'clock with you without you doing anything other than sending that link out in a text or an email. It's a nice link. You can put a headshot in there, a business card, company logo, picture of you and your family, whatever you want to do. And that's what they're going to see when they go to that page. They select the time frame that's available, and that appointment's going to appear right here for you on your dashboard. So that's pretty nice. As you can see, the trend as I go through this is it's an all-in-one CRM. It's making it so you're not using different calendars and different tools and softwares to run your business. You pretty much can just stay in here all day and manage your business that way. On top, just some basic analytics. You'll be able to see in a numerical value the leads that you receive for the day, text messages, how many calls you've made, calls you've received. And then these links here on the bottom, these active links, will take you to the pertaining information. So if you want to see your leads for the day, just click that and boom, right there, you have your leads. All right. Same thing for all the other boxes. For your inbox, it'll take you to your inbox. All right. So that's a little bit on top of your dashboard. For the managers here, agency owners, if you have your team using Ringy, which we've seen in the transformation of a lot of businesses transferring their whole teams and the way that they function their business just on Ringy, because it's so simple to use, they would all be listed here. So you're able to actually see your agents when their subscription expires, what their account balance is how much funds they have for overages, usage, and then the software. You can fund their accounts if that's the way you run your business. Any leads pending, leads that you've sent them that are pending. And then carrier violations are kind of a thing in the past. I won't spend too much time on this. You'll get an email after you sign up. A2P10 DLC, something that came out recently. You basically need to register yourself as a legitimate business to separate you from those that are not. I'm sure you've gotten calls and text about auto warranties, we buy junk cars, all that stuff. They're trying to eliminate that. Now, when you register, this is really just a thing in the past, but if you get a carrier violation, it would show up here for your agents and elsewhere for yourself. I'll show you what that is. Now, join call. This turns into an active button if your agent is on a call. Now, as you can see here, we have agent coaching and call recording. All right, so another functionality within the software. For those managers, agency owners, you can have these switches on for your agents. And if they're on a call, maybe they're newer, maybe they want your help, it's a difficult client, whatever it is, you can actually use that as other terms are agent barge or agent coaching, agent whisper. You're able to actually help your agent out during a pitch, during a call, without the prospect hearing them, only the agent will. So this is good for a newer agent, or like I said, a difficult client. You can tell them literally what to say and the prospect will never hear them. Call recording is pretty self-explanatory. If for compliance purposes, you want to record the calls, or for training purposes, again, newer agent, you want to record their calls and then maybe do a training session afterwards. That's exactly what that is. You can listen to that, stores in your platform for up to 90 days. You could also export those recordings as well. All right, so that's what the join call feature is. Turnover rate is really, I like to think of it more of a conversion rate. So being in insurance, you're probably buying leads or getting leads from multiple sources, not just one. So this is going to let you know in a custom date range based off of your dispositions, which lead vendor is closing at a higher rate compared to the rest for a said time frame. Lead vendors are like roller coasters is the best way I like to explain it. They may be good for a week or two, a month, but then all of a sudden, the quality of the leads kind of diminish a little bit. It's a good way for you to see where you should allocate your marketing spend for that time frame. So it's a very simple pie chart that will appear. Again, this is a demo account, so there's no actual data, but you'll be able to see here how those leads are closing for you. Your call history is just like your cell phone. It's going to show you all of the calls for yourself or for your team. You can see the recorded calls will be right here as well. See their name, who it is. And if you click the phone number, it takes you to the lead's profile. And we'll touch on leads in a second, but it takes you directly to that lead, which a lot of information in there for you as well. Now, follow-up drips today is just going to show you how your drips are working for that day. So the drips is what we're going to touch on next. That's really what our software is built off of. That's how the software was created. Everything else that I'm showing you was built around that. But this is going to show you how those are performing for you. How many leads have been reached by that text? What the response rate is to that text? How many of your leads on a percentage scale are actually responding to that message? It's a good way for you to gauge how that message is working for you. Also, if you need to change it up. So before I go into any of these other tabs that we have here, I want to show you really the gist of our software, which is going to be SMS marketing. 92% of people will open a text message within 20 minutes of receiving it. Calls are way less. I don't have an actual figure for you, but it's less than 20% of people are going to answer a phone call that they don't recognize. Things have changed a lot. People rather receive a text nowadays than an actual phone call. I'm sure some of you have gotten a call and didn't recognize the number and then maybe texted it. Busy, who is this? Even though you're not, you just don't know who it is, right? So with our platform, as soon as a lead comes in, right, we have direct integration with almost every lead vendor, or you can upload a file of leads that you already have. But as soon as those leads are input into the system or come into the system, a text message is going to go out to them immediately within milliseconds without you doing anything. These are all scheduled, right? So as soon as a lead comes in, text message goes out. Now you see where it says hashtag first name. It's not going to appear that way to your prospect. Our system detects available keywords. So where it says hashtag first name, that means that the system is going to recognize your lead's first name. So if you have a lead that comes in and it's named, Bill, it'll say, hi, Bill, this is Carlos with Levinson. Thank you for requesting info about affordable life insurance options. I'm your, whatever state that lead is from, licensed life insurance broker, right? That's one text. Now, this life account, again, keep in mind, you're going to have all of these texts already. It's going to round robin through these leads. So these texts, excuse me. So if you have 4 leads come in, lead 1 will receive this text, 2, 3, 4, starts back to the top. The reason that we recommend having multiple is for 2 reasons. One, you're going to see which ones are performing better, right? Maybe you have one that's not performing that well for your lead specifically or your product specifically. It's a good chance that you may want to alter that. All you have to do is click this pencil, change it up. Also, it's going to help you not look as a robo texter, right? It's going to show that you're an actual person because you're using multiple messages versus just one going out or to 10 leads in 10 seconds or whatever it is, or 100 leads in 30 minutes. So we recommend having multiple. Now, here's where the ROI and the CPA factor really come into play with Ringy. Now, in a perfect world, every prospect is going to answer your first text, right? In a perfect world, but that's not the world we live in. So we have what's known as drip marketing. So if we go to drip marketing, these are scheduled texts, kind of works like a virtual assistant. So you're not doing any of this. These are already predetermined and scheduled. As you can see, it has a time and how long. So after that initial text goes out, After 1 day at 8 a.m., this text will go out. After 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, 15 days, 21 days, 28 days. You're in constant contact with every single prospect that comes into the system. If you're not using a management system for your leads, you're not probably doing this type of outreach to your prospects. Maybe you'll keep up for 5 days, but new leads come in and you kind of forget about leads that are a week old and you kind of just go on with your business, right? That's where you're really spending more on marketing. That's where your CPA is increasing because now it's costing you more to acquire a deal. Well, this is actually going to make it so that every single lead that you put into this platform is getting touched 7 times before you give up on it, right? And you can change this if you want. This is just the way we have it set up based off of feedback from other agents in the life insurance industry. This is the time frame that they recommend. Go really heavy the first month. And the main thing I want you guys to know is we're extremely compliant. We follow all the guidelines by the CTA. We make sure that we as a company aren't going to get in trouble or get any of our clients in trouble. So we follow all of the requirements for SMS marketing. So that's something that you have peace of mind with, knowing that if you're using our platform, we follow all those guidelines. We make sure that the system is not sending messages out at midnight, that you're not calling people at 10 o'clock at night. All of these have been something that Bradley himself has spent probably the past year at this point, making sure the system is taken account for. So we are a fully compliant software. Everything you see here falls within those guidelines. But as you can see, this is huge. This alone is worth having the software. Everything else is kind of a plus. But this is essentially like a virtual assistant, just doing all of your outreach for you. All right, so that's what our drips will do. And then we have some others here. We have quote follow-up drips. So if you quote somebody, you can disposition them as quoted and send some quoted drips out to them. Sold disposition. So if you sell someone and you mark them as sold, you can put them in a series of sold follow-up drips. Typically, it's something like, hey, Bill, hope all is well. By now, I'm sure you've received all your policy information. If you happen to know anyone that is also in need of protecting their family, please have them reach out to me. I'd be happy to help them the same way I did you. Something along those lines. And you can get some referrals from a series of drips from marking a lead as sold without having to do anything, right? And that's kind of the trend you'll see. It's really just to make this as easy as possible for you. All right, so now that you kind of get an idea of what Ringy does, let's jump back into tab for tab, and I'll probably wrap this up in 20 minutes for some questions. I'm sure there'll be some at the end. So when you have leads in your system, you'll see them in your leads tab. The leads tab, you can filter by date range, by lead vendor, states, time zones. Maybe you're doing some prospecting and you want to see leads in your system that you didn't sell, but you quoted, right? Obviously, it's dummy data, so nothing's going to fall in that criteria, but that's something that a lot of agents will do. Not sold, but quoted, meaning they gave them a quote, but they didn't sell them for whatever reason. It's going to show you every lead that falls into that category, those categories, I should say. All right. Now, in the actual leads profile, there are a few other functionalities that you'll be able to do. Obviously, if you click the number for Harry Potter, it's going to take you into that direct leads profile so that you can see, everything that's going on, that has gone on, activity log, how many times you've called them, when you called them, any events you've had with them, and any meetings you've had with them, right? You can see your SMS history, ongoing conversations with that lead in particular right here. You can send an email directly to that lead from its profile. And then documents. Maybe you have an attending physician statement that you want to upload to that prospect's file. Maybe you have some sort of document that's pertaining to them that you want to store so that you have it when you speak to them. That's all available on upload files. You can assign your tags here. These are all going to be ready for you guys. As soon as you sync with this account, all of this is available. So you'll have interested, appointment set. This is all based off feedback from life insurance agents. So we didn't just make this up. We've worked with a few of them that have just really loved our software and said, hey, it'd be cool if you had this, if you had that. And we spent hours with them over the past few months and created this. So a lot of this is going to pertain to what you do. Referral, all these tags will be there for you. This button here is where you're going to mark a lead as sold. It's also where you're going to schedule a follow-up. That's going to happen often. You talk to Bill. Bill's in the car. He wants you to call him tomorrow morning when he's having breakfast with his wife. schedule the follow-up, and it'll show up on your dashboard. Don't forget you have a follow-up at 9 a.m., and it'll show up. Verification call. So this is really for underwritten products that require an underwriter to contact the prospect before the application is submitted and approved. You can actually schedule a verification call reminder. So if you have a product where it's not going to move, the application is not going to go through that process until they take that call with the underwriter, we've made it so that a verification call reminder, you set the time frame of when you want to remind your prospect and say, hey, Brad, don't forget you have a call in 15 minutes with our underwriters to get approved for your policy, talk to you afterwards, whatever it is, and it'll send that out to them. You can enroll every lead that you get into a birthday text. You're in a business of where referrals are king. If you send a birthday text out to a lead, it's going to remind them that you thought of their birthday, even if it's 10 months later. And that's another way to be on their good graces and gain some referrals. So you can enroll them in the birthday text. Find more phone numbers. So we just use fast people search. A lot of times you get information from leads that don't have an accurate phone number. Sometimes that's on purpose. Somebody might be filling out an inquiry and put in the wrong phone number because they don't want anyone to call them. A lead vendor may have captured the wrong information as well. So we've made it so you can just select find more phone numbers. I won't do it on this lead because I don't know how many Harry Potters are out there. But once you hit find more phone number, it's going to take you to fast people search and show you every number that's affiliated to that prospect so you can get in contact with them. The plus side to that is not many people are doing that. So if you have an inquiry that went to 5 different websites and put in the wrong phone number, you're probably the only agent that's going to reach out to that client. So you have a really good chance of getting in contact with them just using this tab right here. You can directly call the lead right from the profile. Just click the call, and this bubble here is going to let you know how many times you've actually called that lead as long as it's been in your system. All right, so those are some of the functionalities within the actual lead itself. You can also start dialing from the actual leads page, but I want to show you a different area where you're going to like a lot better. Upload CSV. So I don't have a CSV file to show you, and again, I don't want to waste too much time, but you don't only have to receive leads from vendors in order to use our platform. You can actually upload lists of leads that you may already have within your computer, or, in an email, whatever it is. Just simply select that file. It needs to be in a CSV format. There's a video on that first, if that doesn't sound like English to some people, but you can actually upload a file, make sure that all of the columns are correct, and use all of those leads within our platform. That's how you would do that through the leads page. Inbox is pretty simple. It's just like your cell phone. Any ongoing conversations that you're having with clients or prospects will be right here. Sales pipeline. All right. So sales pipeline is a progressive dialer. I like to think of it as just an efficiency dialer. So along with our SMS functionality, we know that calling is obviously important. Now, you can set up stages or buckets, whatever you want to call them. We have these already built out for you. So new lead not called means it's a lead that is new, that has never been called in our platform. Ringy will detect that and put all of those leads into this bucket for you. Week 1 leads, no response. These leads are at least 1 week old, but they've never responded to any of your drips. Week 2, and so on. Anything you disposition as interested, quoted. The system's going to automatically capture that data and put them in the pertaining stages or buckets, whatever you want to call it, for dialing purposes. Now, the way that it works, again, this is dummy data, so it won't work perfect. You simply just select start dialing. Now, it's going to prompt you before you dial, start the first call, then each time the previous call ends, will automatically connect you with the next lead below it. Pretty good explanation. That's literally what it does. You call a lead, as soon as the call ends or you leave a voicemail, it goes on to the very next lead without you doing anything. It just automatically goes on to that lead. Now, there are some agents that have a 3-call rule, meaning they want to call each lead 3 times before they give up and move on to the next lead. You can designate how many times you want to call that lead before you move on to the next one, right? So if you do 3 times, it'll have it set for 3. Now, again, obviously not a real phone number, but let's just show you what it looks like. See as it hangs up, calling them 3 times, right? And that's really how that'll work. Obviously, it's a lot better with tons of leads in here, or at least a few with real phone numbers. But when you're making that call, there's a side panel. It'll show you that leads information, so you have it all in front of you. You can type in notes, disposition it, all that good stuff, but hopefully you got the gist of how that works. Now, something that we need to touch on before I go any further is we operate on something called Smart Local ID, as you can see that here. Most of you are doing business in more than one state, or at least a good majority of you are licensed in multiple states. With our platform, you can purchase numbers for every state you're doing business in, right? So if you hold a state license in 4 or 5 states, 10 states, 25 states, all of them, you can buy a number in every single state by actual state or specific area code. And our system, being that it's a smart local ID, is going to capture where that lead is from and map the phone number you have for that state. So when you call that lead, they're going to see a phone number they're familiar with. Whether it's, maybe you're doing business in Florida and you're like me, you're in Colorado, it's going to show my Florida number when I call that client. If they call that phone number back or they text that phone number back, it's going to go directly to my platform, to my mobile app, or directly to my cell phone if that's how I'm designating to do any type of contact in my platform. And I'll touch on that in a second. If you don't want to do that, you just want to select a specific phone number, just simply select the drop down and you can do that there. But if you're doing any type of progressive dialing, it's going to automatically match those numbers for you. That is huge for contact rate. You're way more inclined to pick up a call if you recognize that area code. And we've seen that do wonders for our clients calling, out of state, calling leads in different states that they're doing business in. And that's Smart Local ID. These numbers are leased directly to you. They're not shared, they're not pooled, and they're not recycled. We know a lot of platforms use shared and recycled numbers. Main thing that happens with that, those numbers will get burned within minutes, if not within your first call, because these telecom providers are getting smart. They recognize that this is a shared number, this isn't an actual phone number, and you're going to show up as unknown caller, you're going to show up as spam risk. With our platform, we can almost guarantee that every call that you make is going to show an actual phone number. That's a no-brainer itself, right, for contact. So that's a little bit of how Smart Local ID works. Now let's move on to Google Calendar. Google Calendar is pretty simple. You're able to do a direct Google Calendar integration. So you can sync your Ringy calendar with your Gmail, select your calendars here. Any meetings that are set within your Ringy platform will appear on your Gmail and vice versa. Any meetings that you set on your Gmail will appear here. Again, just some more organization, keep you from having to bounce around from different platforms. Reports, pretty much what it sounds like. It's just analytics. You can see leads by vendor, how many you've received, how many you've sold, disposition tags, how many leads are assigned a tag. It's really for, managers to check out for themselves, for them teams. And again, the drip marketing analytics. So all those drips that I showed you guys, as you can kind of see here, you can see how they're performing for you. How many leads were reached by that drip, the response rate, and actually how long it even takes for a lead to respond to that to that drip on average, right? Find My Leads is just a simple Google search, Google Maps. So you can zero in on a prospect's location. It's a good way to gain common ground from what I've heard. A lot of agents use this to kind of zero in on a state, mention a city around somewhere when they're talking to a prospect. And, if it's the first 30 seconds of that call that are extremely important. If you can gain that trust, if you can gain that personability with the prospect in those first 30 seconds, there's a good chance they're going to stay on the phone with you. A lot of our prospects use this simply as a conversation starter, but there are other reasons you may want to use that, but we have Google Maps for your leads. These are just analytics for outbound text, inbound text, and then call statistics, right? So those are some of our analytics that you can see directly from your platform. Campaigns, this allows you to do bulk texting and bulk emails campaigns to leads in your platform. So maybe after some time, you've acquired some leads in your system and you never spoke to them, you never sold them, you never quoted them, but you want to make the phones ring, you want to kind of get in contact with them again. You can filter out leads by date range, by vendor. Maybe you only want to show the leads in your platform that you didn't sell, and simply just name it. Maybe you want to call it, database reactivation, something like that. Schedule it for the future. If you don't, it's just going to send it out right away. So at least give yourself like a 10-minute buffer, 30-minute buffer. You could do this with text, email, both, one or the other. It's going to be a mass message. So maybe I want to say, hey, first name, do you have time to talk about your policy? Just so you get the gist. Obviously, it's a horrible message, but you can upload an image. Maybe you want to do a business card on every text that you send out. Once you send that out, once you select create campaign, it's going to send that out, and you should see some traction, at least a couple of texts back or phone calls. All right, so that's what the campaigns are. Phone setup. Now, those phone numbers that we talked about, those smart local ID numbers, you can select just a state. If you do that, just be aware that our system is just going to pick a phone number at random within that state that's available, and that's a number that's going to be assigned to your platform. If you want to get a little more specific, maybe you have an area code in a state that you want to work with. Florida, everybody knows Disney World, so let's just do 407. Select that, purchase it, and it's going to give you a random number with the 407 area code that's assigned to your account. That's your phone number, right? So that's kind of our workaround with that. Those numbers will appear right here, and that's how you can manage them. Now, maybe you just want to buy one number, a couple of numbers, which we wouldn't recommend. We always, at the minimum, one number per state you're doing business in, but maybe you don't want to do that to start. If you get a lead from a state that you're doing business in, it's going to automatically show your default number. So if I only have 2 numbers, but I'm getting leads from 8 different states, and they're outside of Colorado or outside of, whatever state it is that I don't have a number for, it's just going to show my default number. So in this instance, it'll show my Colorado number, just so you kind of see what that looks like. Lead vendors. All right, so you're going to be working with multiple lead vendors, I'm sure, or at least a good majority of you are. Now, we have some preset here that a lot of our clients have been using over the years, but it's really simple to add a vendor that's not listed. 2 really important things you need to know on this page. So if you're going to remember anything, just remember this. You can name it whatever you want, even if it's not the name of the lead vendor. So let's say I have a lead vendor that I like to call ABC Leads, or that's the name of the lead vendor. You want to make sure you have a proper lead vendor email address. So if you're working with a specific account manager that sends you leads, make sure you have their email here. If not, at a minimum, have their support email. So let's say I don't have an account manager. I'm going to name, I went to their website, I got their support email, and it's support@abcleads.com. That's one important part of this, right? Email lead vendor my API keys and integration instructions. To dumb that term down, it's going to send them the information they need to make sure that the leads that they send you come directly into our platform. That's the dumbed down version of what that means. All they need to do is copy and paste that, and they're good to go. Now, if you're a manager, these will be for you. You can put leads in a pool. You can designate that they're live transfers, and you can distribute these to your agents. Keep in mind, we offer free custom onboarding for new members. Spend about an hour or 2 on the call with you, set up your account exactly the way you want. We don't charge for that here. And it's something that you should definitely take advantage of, especially managers, agency owners. If you want to have an admin account set up so that you can manage your business within our platform, take advantage of that onboarding. Once you sign up, you'll get a series of emails that'll give you instructions on everything with links to how to schedule one of those calls. And again, those are free of charge currently for any new member, so take advantage of that. But let's move on. All right, so once you select that, this is the second most important thing. If you leave this blank, you don't do anything, you just save the lead vendor, the leads that you get from your vendor is only going to show the phone number. Huge problem, obviously, right? You don't know their name, where they're from, their birthday, none of that good stuff that's important. So we made it pretty simple. Just click this box here, select first name, last name. If you want full name, but that's the same thing as here. Email, maybe you want the street address, your lead vendor's providing that, city, state, zip code, birthday. All right, that's really what you would want from a lead, but maybe you're getting information that isn't listed on this dropdown. Maybe your vendor is letting you know if they're a smoker. All you need to do is just type that, smoker. Maybe they're telling you the height, maybe the weight. Just simply type that in, and it's going to give you that information on your lead's profile. So even if it's not on the dropdown, but you're getting it from the lead vendor, you can just type it in there. Make sure you save that. Now, once I save this lead vendor, it's going to automatically send them the instructions. What I recommend to all of our clients when I speak to them about integrating, even though they're going to receive the email, it might just sit in their email for a couple of days until they get to it if they're really busy. Pick up the phone, give them a call. Most lead vendors are happy to integrate with us because they know what we do for their leads. Just say, hey, I just sent you integration instructions from Ringy. Can you guys please make sure that I'm integrated? It takes them all of maybe 5 minutes to do so. If not, you're kind of waiting for them to open up that email and check that out. So that's just a piece of advice once you sign up. And that's simple. That's really how you integrate a lead vendor. Now, we went over SMS and marketing already, so we're almost done here, guys. Account settings. So if your name is, let's say your name is William, but you go by Bill, and that's what you want your prospects to know you as, make sure first name and last name, it doesn't need to be your legal name. It just needs to be what you want your clients to call you or what you want to be known as. That's where those available keywords that we saw with the little hashtag next to it, that's where the system's going to detect your first name. So if you go by Bill and your name is William, don't put William here if you don't want to be called William, put Bill, right? Forward calls too. And I'm going to show you what this means here. Any of those calls that when people call back that phone number, when people text back, it's going to be forwarded to the number you designate here. Typically, it's a cell phone or a business cell phone. Now, you have a few ways to utilize our platform. If you're working on your computer, you're in the web application, you're on Ringy.com, accept calls in Ringy. When a call comes in, it's going to, a nice little banner will appear with their client's information, and you can answer that within your headset right on your computer. We also have a mobile app that was released maybe over a year ago by now, maybe even 2, where you can go to your Android, I think it's Google Play Store, or for my Apple users, the App Store. And it's just Ringy CRM. It's an app, it's no charge, and it has virtually the same functionalities as everything that we've just gone over. So if you're out in the field, you're maybe at the golf course, you're at the mall, or maybe you're at a client's house, just forward those calls to the mobile app. Any of those calls that come in, any of those texts that come in will go directly to your app, and you can answer them, call them back, same functionalities virtually that you see here on that mobile app, and it's no charge to download. Find it in your Play Store, your App Store. Again, Ringy space CRM, and that's how you'll find that. Now, you'll also have the sync capabilities. Again, I'm going to put this here, guys, and you'll get the recording. This is, if you want all these settings that I just went over with you, just type that in here, lifeinsuranceDemo@Ringy.com. Send the sync request. Within seconds, you'll get everything that we just saw, all right? Now, manage account. You can create your own dispositions and automated actions. For those of you that aren't that tech savvy, you're going to love this, right? Because you're not going to have to do any of this. This has already been created for you. An automated action is simply an action that is triggered by a disposition that you put on your lead. Simpler terms, if I mark a lead as interested, click that I, it's going to skip the follow-up drips, meaning I've labeled that lead as interested. So now it's not going to keep receiving text messages from me because I've spoken to them, they've expressed interest, we have a meeting scheduled, or we know that we have them on the hook. You don't want to keep bombarding them with text messages. So that's what interested does. Quoted, it's going to remove any disposition tag that you previously left on there, and it's going to skip the follow-up drips. So you kind of get a gist of what that does. Sold, it's going to mark it as sold. It'll remove every disposition tag that you've left in the past, and it's going to send this message to your lead automatically without you doing anything except for marketing as sold. And you can kind of read what that says there. Please check your email with all the details from the insurance company. Keep my information handy. So that's nice, and that's already set up for you. When you get a little more acclimated with the software, you can create your own, do whatever you like, or if you get on that onboarding call, they'll set some up for you as well. Booking page, already showed you that. Just want to show you again where that is. Create that on your own. And then lastly, guys, and then I'll open up the floor for some questions. We have our FAQ and training. Now, I would be so surprised if everybody on this call, or even 20% of you, remembered everything I just said. It's a lot of information, right? We have a support center. So if you ever have any issues with your account, we're open 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. Here are our hours. Here's our number. And here's an email where you can submit a ticket if you're having technical issues. FAQ, frequently asked questions. Maybe you have a very general question that can be answered pretty quickly, but you don't want to spend time waiting for an email or calling somebody. Just select it here. There's a good chance that it's here. Most importantly is our training center. Our training center is available 24/7 on demand. You can watch it a million times. Every page that I just went over, every functionality that I just went over, there's a video for. It's anywhere from 3 to 9 minutes. Click that video or the box pertaining to that video, and it'll give you an explanation of everything. So upload CSV. This is updated last week. just so you see.
Are your lead vendors not set up to directly integrate with our open?
There's actually a voice walking you through every single tab, kind of coaching you through it. So maybe you can kind of look at these if you're confused and you'll be cleared up. If not, still reach out to us, but take advantage of this. This is huge. This is available at all times, and it was just updated last week. So I know for certain that it is 100% accurate and up to date. Lastly, you'll see this little bubble here. All right. We have a live chat bot. If that bubble is there, that means that we have chat agents available and you can directly message them from your platform without having to call anybody or wait. So the last thing I want you guys to see is when you go to sign up, all right, we'll log out of here. All right, you're going to go to sign up when you go to Ringy. There'll be a nice little button right there, sign up. And as you can see, we have a page designated directly for Levinson and Associates agents. This is something that we worked out with you guys. We want to make sure that you guys are taken care of and that you're happy with our platform. In addition to the 2 weeks for free, so nothing gets charged to you when you sign up. You do have to put in a credit card to make sure you're not a robot or spam. You're going to get 2 weeks for free, meaning you're not going to pay a penny. You can try the platform out for 2 weeks. If you don't like it, we part ways as friends, no big deal. But there's a very strong chance you're going to want to continue to use this platform. If you do sign up using the code Levinson, or if you use the link, there's not going to be an area for a setup code. It's going to embed a cookie in the sign up page that recognizes you're from Levinson, and it's going to automatically give you $69 a month for 6 months. It's 30% off for 6 months. Once you go to that sign up page, all you need to do is use that link, or if you don't have the link, go to sign up and just type in Levinson and it'll recognize that for you. So that is my spiel, as much as I could cram into about 45 minutes. I'll be happy to take any questions. Bradley will as well for the next 5 minutes or so. Hopefully you guys see the value behind our platform, and hopefully I didn't confuse the heck out of you, but I hope you see everything that is going to help you out with your business here.
Yeah, that was awesome, Carlos. Great job in a short amount of time. Just 2 thoughts I just want to mention, and then yes, we'll have time for a few questions. Andrew's collecting everything now. By the way, the questions we do not get to live right now. We're going to answer every single one. Andrew's going to get back to you as soon as we hang up, and if we need to get Carlos and Brad involved, we will. But 2 things I want to mention. That discount is for Levinson active agents only. So you can't send out the link to friends of yours or whatever. Every single month we have a report, and we're going to go through the list. And I just want to put this out there that if someone is not active, then obviously Carlos will reach out and you guys will go back to the retail pricing. So I just want to make it very clear. So again, call us, we'll make sure you're active, and then boom, you get the discount. But one thing I want to mention real fast. So Ian, who's one of our agents, he's on the call right now. He was also on a podcast episode that I did about 2 years ago. I think we did a part 1 and 2. This was his thoughts. And by the way, he had Ringy before we even announced the partnership. And he said to me in an email, and I'll probably blush a little bit because he didn't know I was going to say this, but this is his email. Never seen a CRM like this one before. I can't imagine any insurance agent not utilizing that local caller ID feature. Ringy is a beast, and their customer service line is the best. Okay, that is verbatim from Ian, and he's on this call. So I just want to put that out there right now. All right, with that said, we don't have much time. Andrew, do we have a couple questions for Carlos that came in we can hit pretty quick?
Yeah, we have a ton, so we're not going to have time to get to them all, but we'll just hit a few.
Okay.
So we have Isra asking, can you send a group text? If so, what's the max number of people you can do in a group text, or is it individual only?
That's a good question. I want to say the answer to that is no. You can only send individual text. Brad, if you want to unmute yourself, he knows more of the technical aspect of it. I've never had anyone ask me that. I want to go ahead and see if I'm correct. I want to say it's no.
So yeah, if you mean a group text where like you're sending a text message to a group of people who are all in the same conversation, no, not right now. But if you mean, can you send a bulk text message, like the same message to 10 different people, individually, yes, you can do that with just one click, essentially.
Yeah, that's in the
Okay,
campaign.
next.
All right,
Andrew?
next we have, so next we have Amanda says, do you have a voicemail drop system? I
Yeah,
don't know what
yeah,
that
and
means,
that's
drop.
my mistake for going over that. In your account settings, you can actually record multiple voicemail drops. At the end of the call on your phone, there'll be a button that's going to prompt you to drop the voicemail. The one thing that you have to keep in mind is you have to wait for the beep. For spamming purposes, our telecom provider does not allow us to just let the phone ring once, drop voicemail. So you have to wait for the beep, but you can set as many as you want and drop a voicemail right when that beep goes on that phone, and it'll move on to the next call. So yes, you can.
Got it.
Okay, Andrew, one more, and then we got to move on to our contest and giveaway.
Okay. It says, what about call blasting? Can you do like I guess a large amount of calls at once? And what about if you're running different campaigns for different products at the same time?
Yeah, so you can, that's essentially somewhat illegal. Auto dialing is like when you're calling 8 people at the same time, and then once one call picks up, it drops all the other lines and then takes you to that one call. That's a really sketchy line that we just don't want to get involved with because it is pretty much illegal to do that. So you have to make one phone call at a time. That's why we came up with the progressive dialer, where you can just efficiently dial through calls. And then as far as working different products, all you need to do is label each different lead that you're going to get. So if you're getting different types of leads from a lead vendor, you can work final expense, mortgage protection, life insurance, all through the system and create a series of drips within our platform as well. So that answer is yes, you can do that.
Okay, great. Okay, all right. We'll answer everyone else as soon as we hang up the call, and then Carlos will reach back out if we need help with any of the questions. I got a couple slides left, and then we're going to put a bow on this. So, Andrew, let's move forward. Everyone probably wants to get started. We're going to show you exactly how and where to go. I know Carlos just touched on it, but you do have to be logged in to our website, okay, and be active, levinsonassociates.com, and then you'll see agent tools, and you'll see the little red box around it, and then just click there, and it'll open up a drop down. It says Ringy CRM platform, and Andrew, we need to add a star by that. In fact, a big gold star right next to Ringy CRM platform. And then as soon as you click, that's what the request looks like. And then boom, we send you the link and you are in for the co-op discount. So that's very, very simple. Let's move on to the next slide. So we're done. And by the way, in about 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll have our giveaway. Okay, real fast. So we had a lot of questions come in since we announced this, saying, hey, is this replacing Agency Automator? And what about Snoozy? Okay, and I wanted to just explain real fast to everyone. So now my agent hat is on. I'm out there selling like you all, and I'm looking at the Levinson. Andrew, if we can mute that, that would be great. I'm getting a little background. So if you can just look at the slide in front of you, take a picture. We'll also include it in our thank you email. So you're an agent marketing, and I don't care if you're final expense, term, estate planning, $100 million policies, whatever it is. These days, you have to be efficient with phone calls and texting, okay? Like it or not, this isn't 10 years ago, where they did have these auto dialers legal, okay? No, this is 2022, and people want to communicate via text. Okay, Carlos brought up a great point at the Expo and said, how many times will you call someone, right? They don't even pick up the phone, and before you can even hang up, you'll get a text back, hey, in a meeting, call you in 10 minutes, or text you in 10 minutes, okay? Everybody wants to text, all age groups, by the way. So number one is Ringy. Okay, this is the piece, okay, the piece of the marketing puzzle that takes all of your leads, your network, your family, friends, everything, right? And make sure that me, being Bill Levinson, the agent, that it's keeping my name in front of them. And I'm hitting these prospects, friends, family from all angles. I can set up my campaigns. I can set up my calls, texting. I have my phone number, voicemail, like we just went over. It puts all the pieces together. Okay, now, Ringy, great. And the question is, well, how do I get it loaded up, right, with my leads or prospects or my network, let's say? So Agency Automator, okay, this is our platform that we offer where you have your free website, okay, we have a database of millions and millions of consumers. If you're into recruiting, we have another database built in where we have 500,000 licensed agents you can market and recruit to. Okay, we have AssureWorks. Okay, this helps with like SEO keywords. If someone is on ESPN looking at the last night's baseball score, your ad will pop up using AssureWorks. So that's Agency Automator. Okay, very different than Ringy. Okay, on the right side. By the way, when you're thinking of Agency Automator, you can think of like a constant contact. Okay. We have a marketing library also built into Agency Automator that has preset blasts that are pre-approved. So you can use those pieces to blast out. That's Agency Automator. So now you have number 1, Ringy, number 2, Agency Automator. Now number 3, okay, how do I drive leads and drive traffic and create my own leads? Okay, that's where Snoozy comes in. So this is a WordPress website, which is a little nicer and more professional than the Agency Automator site. It's an option. And Snoozy will run your website for you, and he will run all of your social media platforms for you. Keep everything current, post ads, and this is for life insurance and annuities. Okay, so now you think about number 3, okay, that's a great way to generate new leads, right? And then upload those prospects and leads into Ringy, right? And then you're going to turn them into clients. That's the name of the game. So 3 is your website, social media. 2, Agency Automator is your database, is like your constant contact email system. Number 1, Ringy puts the pieces together and turns these leads or prospects into clients. That's the way I look at it. That's the big picture. We're going to dive into another webinar just focused on those 3, but I wanted to make it clear that we don't have one platform that's replacing another platform. You really need all 3 if you want to be successful in the life insurance and annuity space right now. Okay, and by the way, all 3 platforms are co-op discounted rates because of relationships and the volume. Think of Costco versus Publix. That's the difference. You want to be on the Costco side, which is where Levinson is. Okay, next up is, this is awesome. Great story. Jason is a good friend of mine since I was 13 years old. And I love this story. Number 1, he was a professional sportscaster for the Miami Heat and Miami Hurricanes. That was his dream since we were kids. Okay, I had the life insurance spoon in my mouth. All he knew about was athletes and baseball teams and basketball teams and very different paths we took. But here's what's crazy. So a few years back, he transitioned, and now today he left his sportscaster career, and he is now a certified financial planner, and he is one of our agencies. The guy is a rock star. He was at our Expo. Great story that he shares. I want you all to listen. It's a 1-hour interview, which, by the way, we're doing a podcast episode with Carlos and Bradley as well, just on Ringy. So we're going to get deep, and we're going to talk about their story as well. You'll see that in the upcoming 4 to probably 8 weeks. We'll schedule that ASAP. Future trainings, that's what you're on right now. So our keynote presentation, Mary Reed at the Expo, we had so many questions afterwards. Literally, we had people waiting there till 6:37 at night last Friday. We decided to do a recap, okay? And we're going to separate it into a part 1 and part 2. So these are her distribution solution strategies. So just real quick, write down these dates, 4/21 and 5/12, part 1, part 2 with Mary Reed. The top section are our daily, weekly Agency Automator trainings, which, by the way, we're going to add in a Ringy training very soon. We're going to talk about that as well. So we have something standing weekly. It might be a recording. It might be live. We'll figure that out and let all of you know. I just believe in this so much. I know if you're an insurance agent today, okay, and we'll call it, post-pandemic, even though we're not quite through it yet, it's a different world now, and you have to utilize the latest technology, right, to leverage these leads, these relationships, and turn them into clients. And you don't have the time. Most of you are, a one-man or one-woman show out there. And, it doesn't make sense to have 17 people working for you on the admin side. This does it for you. That's why I'm pushing this. I'm a big believer in this. And I'll tell you this, when this first came up, there's a lot of agencies or companies, that always have their hand out there. And I told Bradley and Carlos from day one, I said, guys, I don't want anything out of this. I want to help my agents. If there's any type of discount, any type of promotion, pass it through to my agents. Okay? If my agents sell more, we do better. It's a win-win-win, right? There's no secret sauce. If you all sell more, right, and you're productive, then obviously that's a win for us. That's how we make our money. When you place an app, we get paid. That's simple. So I just want to put that out there. We're not obviously a technology vendor. We're in the life insurance space. So we're here to help, and that's exactly why I was so excited about the Ringy launch and presentation. We're going to end with our last slide and our giveaway. Okay, so real fast, speaking about relationships, right? My best friend Gino is the one that introduced me to Brad, right? Brad is the CEO of Ringy, and it just so happens, right? I was somewhere, this was 2 weekends ago. This was from an acquaintance of mine, sent me a text message, said, successful people like you give me hope and hunger. And I replied, not even thinking I was going to use this as a post, but I replied and I said, you're very smart to see the signs, build your network, and make the move when you're ready. And then I said, you can see it highlighted in red, relationships are everything, more important than a master's degree from Harvard, okay? Now, I didn't even think I was going to post this. This was a personal text message, but I started to think about it. That's how Ringy came about. And that's how a lot of our big opportunities came about, were from relationships, okay? There's so, not that a master's degree isn't important, because it is, and Harvard is obviously a great college, but I'll put any good relationship against any degree, education, college, anything. Okay, relationships are key to grow your business. I want everyone to have a great Good Friday, a happy Passover, a happy Easter. Okay, whatever you celebrate, great. Okay, but just make sure your foot is on the gas when it comes to your insurance and annuity business. We're going to end with our question of the day. Whoever answers first wins. Make sure your little fingers are on the keyboard, because this question is going to be one of those that you'll get. Okay, you'll get the answer, but it's going to take a minute or two. So you got to be quick. Whoever answers first and correctly wins. Tell me real fast, what year was Levinson Associates established? What year did Levinson get started? What was the year? You tell me, you win. Andrew, do we have a winner? You got to be quick. I know a lot of answers are pouring in, but we got to pick the first one that came in. What year was Levinson and Associates established? In fact, Kerry, my father, started the company. And what year was this? It was before I was born. Little hint.
Sorry, Bill. Yeah, sorry for the delay there, but we had a lot come in at the same time. But the first correct answer is Edward B. Edward B is the first correct answer.
What state is Edward calling in from? Edward B.,
Florida.
Congrats, by the way. Florida, 1972 was the year we were founded. And number one, again, I want to thank everyone for taking the time. I hope you walked away with some nuggets. You got to try this stuff. It will change your business. Have a great holiday weekend. Thank you, Bradley. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Andrew. Let's have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks again, everyone. Good selling.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks, everyone.